What's happening, people? Welcome to another episode of Giants Rush. We're talking football 52 weeks of the year. And what I'm going to do right now is I'm cracking a beer for getting through camp without any major injuries. So I am cheering to the New York Giants for getting through camp with no injuries. Okay? And that's unlike us because we normally send 4 guys out on the stretch. So thanks for tuning in and hanging out with us. We're going to crank this thing up. We've got top 100 to talk about. We've got to talk about a little bit of, offense and defensive standouts for camp. Did I mention we went through camp with no injuries? I know. Evan Neal, got you. I hear that. We're all good. And then, of course, we're going to talk a little bit about the Lions coming up. And let's bring in the guys because I'm sure, I can entertain you only so much. And as always, remember, Chuck app, where to get your sports. I'm sorry, people, you're slow to the punch. Every day you hit the Chuck app, bang, all your sports aggregated, baseball, football, hockey, whatever you're into. I don't care if you're into curling, it's in there. Check out the Chuck app, download it, then do me a favor. If you think you know more sports than me, there is a chance. If you know more sports than me, you play the Chuckle Trivia every single day. Like Joe and Mason and Shawnee B, they're all in there challenging me every day. I recommend you try it too. Chuckle is the daily sports trivia game. I'm addicted to it. So it lets me know how bad I suck every day. Or sometimes, like last week, I got it in 2 tries. I was feeling pretty good. Let's bring in the boys. I got my man Chris. What's up?
Hey, Craig. Hey, everybody.
Always good to see your smiling face, my friend. I know, it's been a rough road the last couple of days. But we got Giants to talk about, right?
Yeah, no doubt. And Craig, by the way, I know camp is kind of done. They're going to go now into more of a practice mode. But man, I hope we don't want to jinx anything. So I hope we're still injury free, man. We've had a couple nicks here and there, but nothing crazy.
No. Look, I actually. Okay, and of course, let's bring in our affiliate from Texas. The one and the only Alex J. What's up, brother?
What's up, gang? Thanks for having me back.
What do you mean having you back?
Fingers crossed on these injuries again, Craig. Don't jinx us, please. Knock on wood.
Okay. First of all, it's not having you back. You're stuck with us now.
I like that, but it's been a couple weeks.
I know it's true. It is true. Everyone has like summer vacations and they're hiking, camping, going to the beach. I don't know what you guys do there. Oh, I guess you could go south, right, to the water, right?
Yeah.
So whatever you were doing, it's glad to have you guys back because there is a ton of things that I want to get to. So I'm thinking about starting with top 100 because it's got my panties in a bunch. And I am going to, yes, I see you, gentlemen. I don't want to go without acknowledging all you crazy nut jobs in the chat. I see Jay and Darius and Joe. Oh, see, Cold is back. I see you, Tuto. One of these days, we're really going to get a picture of who you are. Sarah's in the building. I love it. Great to see all you guys. Tell your friends. We want all you folks to make sure you go to the Giants Rush YouTube channel. It's a little housekeeping. Giants Rush YouTube channel. I need you to subscribe. I need you to like. And then get in the comments and say how you like my lid. Or maybe that you love the stickers behind Alex's back. Or that you love that Chris has got the biggest biceps on the team. Whatever it is, I need you guys to go in the comments. It helps us out. Let us know if we're doing a good job or not. So yes. Oh, Darius, see you. Didn't mean to leave you out. If I did, I apologize. Love to see you guys here hanging out with us. Guys, Top 100 comes out every year. I used to be a huge fan. I kind of think it's jumped the shark a little bit now with some kind of crazy algorithm that they have. So, Alex, I'm going to start with you. Did you watch it? Your opinion on it? And then WTF on the Andrew Thomas thing.
I did not watch a second of it. I looked up the list when I saw you were like, I don't like this list. So I looked it up, and I'm as mad as you are because Andrew Thomas should be up there. I'm only seeing they went to 11. Have they named number 1 yet?
No.
Haven't. So he's probably number 1 then, right? Yeah. Andrew Thomas number 1.
That'd be good.
But he's not because none of the quarterback. He got a whole slew. Half of them are quarterbacks, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like Burrow, Allen, and Mahomes are already 3 of the 7, right?
Right. Well, I mean, I was like looking at it, it's kind of like Sauce Gardner being 23. Like, I'm not taking anything away from Sauce Gardner, but it's one season, man. Like, you're 23rd best in the entire league right now. Like, I don't know about that.
Yep. Now, I understand, like, the players vote on it, right? So I get that. But it just, again, without Thomas being a top 25 player, I love the fact that Barkley's back. He's got a good slot. I think Dexter Lawrence has got a good slot. You know what I mean? Especially for a defensive tackle. Now, Chris, I know it's voted on by the players, and somehow they do some kind of crazy, Harry Potter math. Like Dexter Lawrence, good spot. Barkley, good spot. Like, are you cool with Leonard Williams not making top 100? He has been a top 100 player for the last 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, I think, he's a little overshadowed last year by Dexter Lawrence. I mean, he played 70% of some of the, the snaps. So I think Leonard Williams gets shafted a little bit. But I think it's more Andrew Thomas. When you have Tristan Wirfs in there, I think at 98. And I know Wirfs, before Thomas, was getting a lot of the publicity and a lot of the, the accolades where Thomas kind of followed in the footsteps of now Wirfs and becoming that top-notch, left tackle. He's an all-pro or a second-team all-pro. And then you have there's another offensive lineman before him, another tackle. I have to look that up. I think it's at 85. Laramie Tunsil, who just got another deal with the Texans. So I don't know if it's a name factor because Laramie Tunsil has been, gotten a lot of the pub as well the past few years and been known as the best tackle. But I would anticipate next year. I mean, I got to say, if Andrew Thomas continues this, he's got to be a top 30 player in the list next year.
Yeah, I don't know. Ahead, Alex. What were you saying?
Well, I was just saying Tunsil had that weed gas mask on draft night.
We're not gonna, right.
That.
Yeah, that actually did not work in his favor, but that maybe
it worked out okay.
I was saying in the long run, it looks pretty good, right?
Yeah,
he's got himself a big fat paycheck, and
you know what, Craig? Maybe it's a stigma of the New York Giants offense because for the past 7, 8, 10, 9 years, they don't put up a lot of points. Maybe last year played a factor in that with the offense. We're not, and this year I think we're going to be high octane. I really do. So maybe that plays a factor.
But wait, time out. Let's not lose sight of what we're talking about. Top 100 voted by the players. Right. So the only thing I can think of again is there must be some kind of point system. You know what I mean? Because they're not just like taking these votes and saying, okay, this guy's got 2 votes, this guy has 5 votes. They're extrapolating that out to some type of point system, right?
Yeah.
On what market you play in, what position you play, right? The winning factor. There's got to be, algorithm, some type of point system that's tabulated to say, yeah, this guy's so-and-so. Because it doesn't make sense that a guy like Andrew Thomas, literally just had a dominant year. And we're not saying that because we're Giant fans. He had a dominant year, and he's not there. And we're like, okay, something just don't fit right,
Yeah.
So
right.
the players.
Well, he's better than Tunsil, and Tunsil being on there and him not being on there. It's like that's every reason why. Now, do they just because I was thinking maybe if they give the players hey, your top 100, you rank them 100 to number 1, and then if everybody does that, and then they just average out like who's where. But like then that also would factor like the name recognition where you're like, I don't know, 98 Tunsil, like Andrew Thomas may be the name you don't think of, and that may be why he didn't get included in it.
Maybe when they first started, it was like that. It's a moneymaker now, right? It's a rating. It's a moneymaker where people are watching it, they're rewatching it. Like there's all sorts of advertising attached to it, right? Like it's like a thing now. It's got its own hashtag. You know what I mean? Like it's a thing. So I think maybe in the beginning, Alex, they were kind of doing one of these things, throwing darts at it. But now, like it's like a thing. You know what I mean? Like it's got some type of, like I said, an algorithm and some type of point system. Like, okay, this guy gets 3 votes, it's worth 10 points. This guy's got 5 votes, it's worth 30 points or something. Or maybe the guy who plays in a crappy market gets rated higher than the guy who plays in the big market. Like, I don't know. And like I said, we're gonna.
And you know what, Craig? If this is voted on the players, I'd like to see the defensive players in the league. Only them. Give me your top 10 left tackles that you face.
There you go.
And then now you get a real. You get a real.
Because guess what?
Real idea. Let me know what you think. Yeah.
The cornerbacks across the NFL have no idea.
Right.
Right.
Become the name factor maybe at that point for the guys on the opposite side of the ball or on the same side of the ball.
Yeah, I think Aaron Donald he's been like top 5, and then he's like, I don't know, he dropped a whole bunch of spots. I'm kind of like this. Did he not play last year? Like what happened? So seems to be I'm not necessarily why should we care? Yeah, you're Jay, I understand why should we care, but again, it's entertaining, right? You want to know what the other players think about other players, right? I mean, that's part of the game. Why do we watch interviews? Why do we watch these guys swap jerseys? Why do we? I don't know. Like you always want to know where they rank, like in the other players' minds, right?
Yep. And you know what, Craig? It's filler because you have the preseason games starting this weekend. So the NFL knows what they're doing. They're getting this list done right up until that first week of preseason.
I got something to talk about.
Yeah. Something to talk about. Yeah. No,
and honestly, like if you're the players, like how much of somebody are you getting to watch? How much of Andrew Thomas are you getting to watch if you're not playing the Giants and they're not on your schedule, so you're not watching film against them? Like you watching all of Andrew Thomas's reps? Probably not.
No. Yeah. And in fact, like guys that are flashy, your running backs, your wide receivers, your quarterbacks, well, everybody sees that, right? Because it's on ESPN. Right. Even like when and these younger guys like yourself, Alex, you guys are like, you're tied into everything. So like when the game's over, these guys are probably like streaming this over on this. They got all these different devices going and they see how great Mahomes and Josh Allen and Joe Burrow are. They see how good Chubb and Barkley and pick another back Kamara is when he's not suspended. Like they see these guys, but you're right.
Right.
How would I know how good Andrew Thomas is? Like you kind of have to like take someone's opinion. Hey, is this guy?
Was Tyreek Hill watching all his reps? Probably not.
Yeah.
Let's go see what the Giants left tackle's up to.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right. Well,
I'm with you. Yeah.
We'll see what unfolds the next week when they roll that out. Let's move on to like what we've all been buzzing about is camp recap, right? We can't deny the fact that a lot of really good things happened in camp. Some of us, we can easily take the approach and say, well, I knew that was going to happen. Did we really? So, without monologuing, guys, Daniel Jones came out and just laid it down, right? The guy looked like he'd been doing this his whole life, and there's never been any hiccups. He came right in, threading the needle, throwing the ball around the yard like he's got the Nerf and he's playing backyard ball, right? So, real quick, Alex, Jones like gonna have a good year because of what we saw. Will it transfer over to the regular season? Like this is a good place to start, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean it's a lot better than if we were like, shit, he looks really bad out there. So like I'm gonna like they're saying it's the best he's looked. I mean I've only seen things that like Twitter's showed me. I haven't been out to any of the practices, but like he's throwing bombs, like he's airing the ball out, and it kind of makes me feel like we tried to do that. I feel like the first couple of weeks last season, and then we had injuries kind of pile up, and then we just it wasn't clicking. And it's like now we have the speed that like we're finally seeing like Kafka and Dave will be able to kind of unleash that offense. And it's like it just makes you think like, man, can we score 30 points a game? Like, can we be that team? Like, because if we can finally start scoring points on the reg, that's awesome. But it's also making me be like, is our defense bad now? But I don't know. Just not having an offense be like our focal point. I feel like not being our strongest point for the last couple of years. Finally seeing Jones airing it out. Finally seeing him having guys that are catching it that he can throw it to, and just Jalen Hyatt's fast as fuck. That's so cool to watch. Right? I'm rambling.
No, it's a good ramble. And by the way, just want to point out, in case anyone missed it in the building, the sweet red rush shirt that Alex is rocking right now. Like, sweet. Yeah. Oh, I just noticed it now, and I'm like, I know I like this guy, but now I like him for a whole year.
Always repping, man.
Yeah, repping, and he's rocking the red King Rush shirt. I gotta like that. Oh, segue. Like I should have like a beep 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 segue. I launched on Friday. I launched the new NY Giants Rush team store. It is badass. There are 52 items in there, and I can actually put more in there. But I've got everything from phone cases, bikinis, to T-shirts. Dude, I got canvas chucks in there. I mean, I've got some badass stuff in there. I've got can coolies. I've got water bottles. I mean, it's in there. If you want a skull on something, our logo or that King Rush logo that Alex is rocking right now, it's on everything. So if you get a chance, go to nygiantsrush.com, hit the store, and literally new store is up. So I'm hoping you will dig it as much as I do, because I had a lot of fun, building the store and naming the products. And then watching like a girl in like 9 different Giants bikinis. It was super cool. I was like, oh, look at this. Oh, look at that. So I had a blast doing it. I hope you guys will like it too. Chris, talk to me about standouts, right? Like Alex was just saying, like, Jones rocked it. I didn't see him rock it, but everything tells me he rocked it from what I see. Give outside of Jones, literally just probably having his best camp as a Giant. And maybe that comes along with getting paid whatever it was, $37 million. Mm-hmm. Who's your offensive standout? For the Giants this camp.
Yep. And if I can mention something about the Jones at the end, Jalen Hyatt. I mean, the guy has a chip on his shoulder from what he's heard from the scouts and being at the combine with some of these so-called maybe a Dallas scout. Or coach, hey, I think he's out to prove that he could run all the routes. He could run the route tree. He can get in and out of his breaks. And I think not just being a rookie, but just on the overall offense, I think Jalen Hyatt, from what we've heard and seen, has just been ahead of schedule. I don't think we all anticipated him to come along this fast, and especially after minicamp, you heard maybe he's not ready, maybe he's having a hard time with the routes. You heard he's dropping on the depth chart. I mean, it was minicamp, but I think now you're seeing that there's a nice chemistry being formed between him and Jones. So on the offense, I'm going to go with Jalen Hyatt and also Waller. I mean, listen, Waller's been great, but I'm going to go with Hyatt just to be a little out of the box. Waller's an easy one, I guess, too. But on defense, I'm really impressed with this Trey Hawkins being thrown in with the ones, the 6th-round pick corner out of Old Dominion. Yeah. I think he could be a find. And I'll tell you, if he's a player, now you got him with Adoree', you have him with Deonte Banks, and now you have some depth now at corner if he's the real deal. So hopefully, he gets spoon-fed a little easy and not thrown in the fire too much in the beginning. But I'm on board with this Trey Hawkins. I think he's been tested, and he's looking good.
All right. I like that because for a couple of reasons. One is Hyatt seems to be, and we were laughing before I kicked the show on, it only seems, Alex, like there's only highlights of Jalen Hyatt. Like, I don't see Slayton catching any balls. I don't see, I'm not seeing Colin Johnson catching any balls. I'm seeing Hyatt over the top, Hyatt beating McKinney, Hyatt across the middle. I'm seeing Jalen Hyatt every day. It's like Twitter just went like, holy bleep, this cat is fat. Yeah. And it took off. So
right.
I think it was last Thursday. It was they clocked him running 24 miles an hour, and they just showed the like post route he was running.
Yeah,
and I saved that to my phone, and I have watched it no less than like 1,000 times. Just like, look how fast he is. Look how fast he is.
Yeah. And it is true because we haven't had that kind of speed.
Maybe that's why we're only seeing him, because like Slayton and them, they're just making their routine catches, and we're like, Hyatt, he had that Air Jordan catch he had today or yesterday that we saw on the Instagram. Like he's just making those Odell type catches that we used to see all the time from him. We just got a new guy doing it now.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. No, that's
and Craig, real quick on Jones, just to throw. I mean, I think the workout routine he had in the offseason, his arm strength supposedly has gotten even stronger, and he's got even more zip on the ball. And I just think the second year in this offense with Kafka, and it's such a quarterback-friendly, Kansas City-esque, Buffalo-esque type offense. I think he just feels, man, this is his offense now.
It's funny.
They built for him.
Yeah. Again, I don't buy into a whole lot of stuff. You know what I mean? I was saying like to Spartan Mike last week, I'm like, I'm that guy. You know, I don't buy into a whole lot of stuff and then I start doing one of these things. Like, you know what I mean? Like I do that with camp every year. I'm like, who cares about camp? And then I'm like, oh, whoa, what's going on? So Hyatt's got that thing going on, and Jones has got this thing going on, and I'm thinking like, okay, settle down, Sparky. What's really going on? Well, one is Jones is finally saying, well, I got paid. I'm confident. I've been here the longest on this team now, right outside of Saquon, right? I've been here. I'm just throwing the ball. Like I'm throwing the ball, and they better be there. It. Yeah, because like my son is had his first day of high school football camp today, and he's a quarterback, right? So we have this conversation all the time. I'm like, dude, you put the ball in a spot, they got to run to that spot and catch it. Do not place the ball where the receiver is; it will always be behind him, right? And I'm just seeing Jones being like, you should be at the numbers, blank. You know what I mean? You should be at the hash, blank. Like, and he's just ripping it there. And because we have speed now, they're actually getting where they should be. So I think it's a combination, getting paid, confident, been there 2 years in the system, him going like this. Wow, I got receivers now. I'm not dependent on Richie James.
Yeah. And Craig, for 8 years, and Alex, we've heard about these receivers not getting separation. For once, we have a receiving core that can get separation.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And then
it's awesome.
It is awesome. It is awesome because
I saw Jones had 78% completion. I saw somebody tweeted that out earlier today. 78% completion throughout camp. So like that's pretty solid going into the season.
And you know how hard it is. It's hard to calculate, right? Percentage in camp.
Right.
But
not my tweet. I just saw it on a tweet and I'm quoting.
No,
so it may not even be true. It looked good, so I ran with it. Yeah. If it was bad, I would not have mentioned it at all.
Exactly. And by the way, I think that's what we all do. We're like, if it's here, it must be real, right?
Yeah.
So But hey, that's a positive. That is a total positive because I can't sit here and say that at this time last year I was like, man, Jones is ripping the crap out of the ball. We were like this, man, it's gonna be ugly. I mean, it's just different. So, but that's the offensive side, Alex. How about on the defensive side? There's a couple bodies. Chris mentioned one already. On the defensive side, who's camp-wise, who's standing out on the defensive side where you might be
I mean, Kayvon's looked pretty good, except for when he got bodied by Thomas in one of the highlights I saw the other day. But I mean, Trey Hawkins really is what everybody's been writing about defensively. I've been kind of worried watching. Like, I don't know if our offense is just really good. Maybe that's what I'm hoping is the case, because like I feel like McKinney's been on a lot of those Hyatt highlights are like over McKinney. And Banks, like sometimes you're just like, he's a rookie. We're just gonna write that off as this. Like, I've got a little bit of concern. You're gonna have the growing pains with a rookie corner at all, which is why it's kind of crazy that Trey Hawkins is the one getting all the shine right now, making the plays, and like Banks isn't that one. And Banks is kind of on a lot of the opposite end of the highlights we're seeing coming out of camp.
Yeah. I've actually kind of done one of these things with Banks. I've just done the.
It's just camp. That's where you write it off. Yeah.
Because I want him to be I want him to be Sauce. I know they're different types of players, but like I want that guy. I want to brag and be like, "What's up, Banks?" I want to be that guy, but it's not happening right now. However, I mean Hawkins is, and it's great because ODU also gave us Zimenez, and Zimenez can't get out of his own way, even though he's back on the roster again. I don't know why, but is. I know he was the first NFL player drafted out of ODU ever, all time, right? So now we have 2, except for Hawkins is really actually playing so good that they're putting him at the corner, the CB2, and they're seeing what Adoree could do on the inside. Which, Chris, if I'm not mistaken, there's 2 interesting points there. Hawkins is playing good enough that they can look at him as a CB2, opportunity, or they're really worried about Flott and Holmes in the slot. So they're doing one of these things. Hey, Adoree, I'm going to slide you over a little bit so you can play the slot. Which is it here?
I think, Craig, when you look at Trey Hawkins, between his height and his length, he's not going to be your slot corner. You're not going to try him out there. But I think the only way to work this out is you have to, if you want him on the field, he has to be on the perimeter. So the only other option is to move Adoree inside. So I think if you want both guys on the field, that's something you have to do. So I don't think it's an indictment so much on Flott. I think it's just a matter of how do we get Hawkins on the field if this guy's the real deal.
You'll notice there that Chris only said Flott, did not say an indictment on Darnay Holmes. That is what they call subliminal messaging to everyone watching the show. All right.
He's so outside my train of thought. That's why I couldn't bring it back. It was too far back.
Which is not a bad thing, Chris, which is not a bad thing at all.
Hey, we'll see. The Giants got a couple of preseason games. We'll see what happens. Maybe he steps it up.
Yeah. Maybe, might, potentially not.
We need bodies.
I hope so. He needs to.
Yeah, exactly. Otherwise he'll be on his way out. So Kayvon, yep. One we failed to mention was Pennick. It looks like he's actually going to win the job, which is, again, at this stage, right?
It the one-handed interception he had? Like you just give it to him on that. They're like, here you go.
Yeah, like I just didn't expect the athleticism, I guess.
Sick.
Right? Like, I mean, again, I know it's one play, but it's that type of a play.
It shapes my whole opinion.
I agree. If you're at camp every day, maybe you see some of the other flaws, right? But he just looks like, okay, like I can go into camp because Chris, we were talking about what's his name from Baltimore.
Yeah, Bobby McCain from Miami.
We were
Washington. He was Washington, Miami, right? Bobby McCain.
And you were all over it. Like you were telling me about McCain the whole time, and I was like, all right, cool, because like I hadn't been paying really much attention to him, but it looks like Pennick's going to be at least in a too high safety look. I mean, I'm sure if they bring a third one in, it would be McCain. But it's interesting. I think right now, Pennick would be the guy, unless you guys disagree. He does look like.
I agree.
Yeah, he could be the guy.
It's like it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everyone. It's hard. I guess it's really hard because you can't hit right in camp, right? So it's hard to stand out as a linebacker or a D tackle. It's hard to stand out. But I do want to mention the fact that two things I really liked I saw today, which was JMS, just Dexter just bench pressing him, into the backfield, but he didn't quit and he didn't get crumbled, right? He didn't get pancaked. Like Dexter drove him back like a good 3.5 yards. But if you watch from a technique standpoint, he's still locked and engaged, with Dexter, and he's not letting him topple him over where Dexter rolls into the quarterback. Like he's still, putting enough resistance that he's not getting folded, right? He's not getting folded. Because if you fold, then, you're off like a shot. So I'll give him that. And then today there was a handful of video on him just destroying somebody who's probably a little lower on the depth chart, or maybe he's but just to see his power was neat. I don't know. Did either one of you two see that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was pretty sick.
Yeah.
Which is 90% of me watching training camp videos. Like, that's sick. That's sick. That's sick. I'm like, just convincing myself that's going to be that way every single time.
Yeah. He's like this. Sick. Oh, no. Sick.
We're going to ignore that one. Yeah.
So, Craig, you're talking about Schmitz. You talking about Lawrence, the video with Lawrence?
Yeah.
Or with
yeah.
Schmitz?
So I think it was like Friday.
Yeah, he
more-
pushed
more-
Schmitz all the way back, and he kept his ground, but they didn't keep his ground, but he didn't fall over. Right.
Yeah, well, again, like because to me, it's okay. You're going to get dominated by a guy.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about
50
a top
pounds.
3. Yeah, on top of the fact that he just has been in the league for 5 years. Like, I
Of
mean,
course.
he knows everything to do against a rookie center, and he didn't get steamrolled, right? I mean, he
Yeah.
got. Don't get me wrong, he got pushed back.
Yep.
All I was saying was that he didn't get like if that was like Feliciano, he
Yeah.
would have just and if Feliciano
Yeah.
would have been gone. Like he was engaged with the block. I'm very I'm very happy that his I think wait, Jay's got it in here. Let me pop this up here. JMS always looks like that. He gets exploded on, but his technique holds up. Yeah, that's a good point, Jay. Because right now all he has to lean on is his technique, right? Because he's only been in the league for 8 weeks. So he's like, well, I don't know what these guys do, but I got to stick with my technique. So yeah, it's a great point.
Yep, I agree.
Darius says what does that mean? I wasn't a Giants fan then. What does that mean, Darius? I'm scared. I wasn't a Giants fan then. What kind of fan were you? You've jumped ship or something? Have you migrated from another team? What's happening in the chat here with Darius?
The rest of that story there.
Yeah.
Darius.
Oh, I see. He's too young because
Okay.
someone's talking about Will Allen. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
They were saying, Jay was saying, when was the last time we had an impact rookie cornerback? I would say Aaron Ross.
It was Aaron Ross, but I wouldn't call him impact. I would, I mean, he was a
rookie.
Hey, Craig, Mark Haynes, 1982 or whatever it was. That's going back a while, and he was a Pro Bowler, but that's maybe how far.
I hate to tell you, he was the last Pro Bowler the Giants have had at corner. 1982. Webster never made the Pro Bowl.
Prince and Mukamura was good, but wasn't impact.
You could say that Webster.
Tom Coughlin hated Corey Webster though. It was like that guy took like 3 years before he finally got a real shake. I feel like.
Here's the thing about Webster, and I
loved him.
Here, I'm always on a skinny little limb by myself. With Webster was Deion Sanders without prime. Like he looked the part, he looked all good, but he wouldn't hit anybody. So you were like, all right, if you're not going to hit anybody, then you better have 8 interceptions a year because Prime didn't hit nobody, but he picked off the ball. Everywhere the ball was in the air, you were like, that's Deion's.
Yep.
Or you could say Revis was the same way, right? Like you got to the point where you didn't even throw at him. You were like, and you were like, Webster looks the part, and he didn't tackle nobody. So you were like, all right, we got one of those guys. Don't want to hit nobody. They just hope they run out of bounds. Hey, guy, I think he had 4. I think his best year was like 4 interceptions. I'm like, dude, like let's go. Like, where's the burst to the ball?
Yeah,
And
if it wasn't for the knee injuries, like Jay said, Terrell Thomas, man, knee injuries sidetracked his career. Dude. He was on his way. To
he always seemed so promising.
Yeah.
Yo, T2 was a good baller, man. Yeah. It was a USC. T2 was a good baller. All right, let's keep moving. So we got some offensive standouts, definitely. JMS, Hyatt, Pinnock, a couple guys there. And just to throw out there, guys, because I think we all kind of laughed and scoffed at it, but Beasley may make this team.
He might, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, right now, Campbell, Slayton, Hodgins, then you start looking at Shep and Beasley, and Wandell goes to PUP.
Which he may be
saying he make them off, yeah. Because then I think it's down to Colin Johnson, Shep, and Beasley as maybe 2 of the final 3 spots, but I could see them all not making it at this point. And like, I don't know, I guess just what Shep's done and how he's been so important to the team, I've just assumed that like, okay, he's probably going to find his way back onto the roster. But like, as camp's going, I'm like, he's not seeming like he's the priority that he once was. And he's an awesome dude, but it's like, I feel like he's probably going to be the odd man out.
I mean, it's tough too, because like, when he is healthy, which is rare, but when he is healthy, especially with Jones, if you look back through when Jones was on the field, when he needed somebody, it was always, and I mean always, Shepard. Shepard always made the catch. Shepard always moved
that Tennessee game week 1.
Yeah. Yep. So I'm going with it's do they carry 6? Do they carry 7? Who plays special teams? Who doesn't? Who can return kicks and who doesn't? I mean, Smith is gone. I don't think. Wait, did Smith go or did Crowder go?
Smith's gone. Smith's gone. Crowder's still there.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So, like Crowder to me only holds the only weight Crowder holds is can he return? Can he return punts and kicks? Right? Because he's not going to be a kickoff guy. He's not going to be. So to me, those numbers, Alex. Colin Johnson, I think, is like, he's a good red zone target.
Right.
He was great. Chris and I went to camp last year, and he looked great. Before he got hurt. I could just see Beasley making the team because he hasn't done anything to hurt him. You know what I mean? Like he's just come out there and caught a bunch of balls and showed some speed for a 37-year-old.
He came in, got his equipment, and was breaking ankles the next day because he knows the system, and that was pretty funny to watch.
Yeah. So I don't think. Sadly, I don't think Ford Wheaton makes it. I don't think. I don't think that. And I think the guy. I think Crowder. Pibbleton and Polk. I think they're all gone.
Could be practice squad if they clear. Yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. All right. So if I had to ask you guys, Friday, the Giants, they actually landed a couple hours ago. Giants landed a couple hours ago in Detroit. They played the Lions Friday night. It has crossed my mind to fly in and watch the game.
Wow.
Because then I could get in the car and drive up to Michigan State and see Skyler.
Okay, so you're only half crazy.
So I'm only half Yeah. I would only go to a preseason game in Detroit because an hour and a half from there is East Lansing, which is beautiful. And, I can see my daughter practice. I don't know if they have a game this weekend or not. But so that crossed my mind. I looked at seats. There are $40 seats available in the lower bowl. So let's just here. Let me get this comment off here. Let me kick this around, guys. Preseason and this part of the schedule is unique because of what we talked about earlier is injuries. The Giants are tied for third with the toughest schedule in the NFL, and that is based off the 2022 winning percentage. Right? It's like 545, 562, whatever the winning percentage was. So they're tied for the third hardest schedule in the league. All right. So that's no joke. Do we rest players? Do we play players, once we get to these opportunities? Because the Giants have 3 straight road games in a row this season. They have 5 primetime games, including 4 in 6 weeks. It's a daunting schedule. Are we putting guys out there in preseason because they need, reps or does the week scrimmages have more value? So, Chris, I'll start with you on this one.
Yeah, I think the offensive line, especially with the addition of Schmitz, and then you want to see Neal going into his second year, and you got to work that left guard spot. These next 2 days, Tuesday and Wednesday, scrimmaging the Lions, you're going to see ones against ones. Friday night, you guys will be in and out quick. But I think the next 2 days, and Evan Neal's in concussion protocol, I believe, still. So I don't know about the next 2 days with him. But I think you're going to see the matchups with Schmitz going up against their defensive tackle, their nose. So I think there's going to be a lot of great matchups the next 2 days to see the ones and ones.
And
yeah.
of course, Chris, we want to see Azudu, Bredesen, and Matt Pert. We want to see those 3 guys ball too, right?
Yeah, even a guy like Wyatt Davis. You want to see them go against their ones and who comes out, playing well.
So you're putting more stock into Wednesday and Thursday inter-squad scrimmages than you are Friday night when they go.
Because it's controlled. They can do the red zone. They can do short yardage. They could do 3rd and 15, whatever they want to do. They could just situationally set everything up, and I think that's what these guys need work on. And they're and going on Friday, you know how the first preseason goes. They get a drive, and that's the end of it. And then you get everybody else and the rookies and the later round guys. So I think the next 2 days are going to be fun to see what happens and how they play.
So Alex, 2 scrimmages and then a first preseason game against Detroit in Detroit. Detroit is a much improved team, as we know. We know that Dan Campbell, ex-New York Giant, is their head coach, who's a ballsy, rough tumble type of. I know that's probably an old school term, but like
kneecap biter. He bites kneecaps.
Yeah, kneecaps. Yeah,
exactly. But that's so funny. I forgot all about that.
He actually looks like a lion now with that goatee. He actually
does
the whole lion persona. He looks like a lion.
Yeah, and I love it. Good for Dan Campbell.
Yeah,
I love it.
Awesome.
Yeah. So, Alex, like, what do you want to either see or hear out of the next 3 days for the Giants? Because, like, you're going to get certain battles. Certain guys are going to get more opportunity. And I was like, what do you need to hear? So let's say it's Saturday morning. They've had 2 inter-squad scrimmages with the Lions and a preseason game. Saturday
blew them out in the preseason game. We're looking back at a win. I agree with Chris 100%. Like, I think where you can fine tune stuff in the practices and you can do the red zone. Like, I think that is obviously much more important than the game. But I definitely want to see like Kayvon against Penei Sewell. I really want to see that because I want Kayvon to take the next step. And Penei Sewell is a really good like test. And I know like maybe you only get 1 series against him, but you're gonna get to go up against him in practice. And I really kind of want to see Kayvon take that next step. Maybe get more sacks this year because I feel like he's on the way to doing that. But like we kind of saw him explode there. I'm really looking forward to seeing him this season. And then just our secondary in general. I really want to see our secondary against the Lions wide receivers, even if it's not their first team wide receivers, just seeing the Trey Hawkins, seeing the Javarius Owens, even like just the young guys we got. I want to see Banks not get burned. I've seen Banks get burned a bunch by our own guys. Maybe it's just because our guys are so good and the Lions aren't as good as our guys. That's what I'd like to see happen, where he make one play where I'm like, okay, I can build off. Give me one of those where I can just turn it off. I'm like, all right, we got the play. We got it.
Yeah. You're sitting around. And you're like, nope. There it is. One play. I'm good. Turn it off.
Yep.
All right. I like that. I actually like that evaluation because you're like, hey, these are my boxes. I want these 3 boxes checked off and I'm good to go. I don't care about the rest. I like that. Alex, do you have any feeling on how much Jones should play on Friday night, or if at all?
I feel like Jones should play. Give him that first drive. I'm still not used to the 3-game preseason. They used to do the 3rd preseason game. They kind of played people for a half. They don't do that anymore at all, right? It's just kind of like it would be the 2nd preseason game, you'd assume, but that's not going to be next week. We're probably still going to see him for a couple of series. Just let him go out there. I want to see the ones run 1 series. Give me a touchdown, and then I'll write it off as like that's a success. Just show me something positive, gain some yardage, and don't just have a 3 and out with our first team offense. I'd like to just see the guys out on the field in like a game that we're keeping track of at least,
That's perfect because this is what exactly you are reading my mind. Get out of there. There's nothing but dark freaking things in there. Because all I want to see on Friday night, regardless of now, Chris is right. The real battles are going to be what happens Wednesday and Thursday, right? That's where you're going to get.
I want to fight too.
Tuesday, Wednesday. Is it Tuesday, Wednesday?
I
think it's tomorrow and Wednesday because they want to give Thursday the day off because of the Friday game.
Okay. Yeah. Makes sense. Because I know it's 2 days.
Yep.
I got the wrong 2 days. That makes sense. Better sense, actually. I don't know how much, like I said, like, yeah, you're right. You are 1,000% right, Alex. Like, yeah, like just, you know what? Turn Kayvon loose for, turn Kayvon loose for I don't know, 10 plays. Just be like, hey, Tibbs, here's 10 plays and just, you know what I mean? Like just
let Wink draw some weird blitzes. Let him run some of that stuff. Like be weird with it for a little bit.
Yeah. I'm totally on board with that too. Cause like that would just make me feel good about like, hey, all right, he's not going to play the rest of preseason, but damn, if he wanted to, he could just, cause I don't know if they're going to put that, I don't even know who are the Lions quarterbacks? I don't even know.
Goff, and they just signed Bridgewater today.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if Bridgewater plays.
Yep. And you'll have Taylor Decker at left tackle, which will be a nice matchup. And the Lions may have one of the best offensive lines in the league, so I think this is a good test.
Yes. I was just wondering. I didn't think Goff was going to get a lot of snaps, so I was like, I did not know about the Teddy thing. So yeah, I would really like to see the Kayvon thing. And on the offensive side, guys, all I want to see is literally, I want to see like a 4-play drive where it's like they hit Waller on like an 18-yard pass. They hit Barkley on a screenplay for 30 yards, and then they just haul the rock right down the field, and it's like Hodgins, and then the very next play it's like Hyatt touchdown. You know what I mean? Like all I want to see is the first drive is like literally a 18-yard reception in the seam from Waller, and I'm gonna be like, whoa! That's what I want.
That's it.
Like,
Goodbye.
I just want to see this dude because, like I said, it's the whole whatever. I want to see him ball because what no one talks about, and I probably shouldn't even bring it up. So I'm trying to think if I should or I shouldn't. The guy has been injured the last 2 years. So I just want to see him running like the deer they say he is, and just a zip, seam pass, bang, 18 yards. He gets up unhurt, and we go, game on. That's what I want to see, right? Then I want to see Barkley make a big touch and a big play, and then play around with Campbell, Hodgins, and Hyatt. Like those 3 guys to me are so fun, right? I'm like, oh, Campbell, Hodgins, and then like Slayton's just like what's cool about Slayton is like he's always going to be just the guy. Like he's going to give you like 4 catches a game for 75 yards. He likes being here. He's he's mostly dependable, and everybody likes the guy, and I think he's helping these young cats. So opening drive, I don't want like any like, hey, it's just opening drive in the first. I just go for it. Right?
If you are going to sit anybody, I would rather it be Saquon. I feel like Saquon's somebody that's like, if he doesn't see any touches, like I'm kind of cool with him sitting this one out. Like we know what we can get out of Saquon. Let's not risk anything bad happening to him before we need him week 1 against the Cowboys.
Yeah, that's a good point because we'd like to see what Gray can do, right?
Yeah, behind the first team offense. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely want to see what Gray can do. All right, from a defensive standpoint, like I'd like to see Banks not even come off the field.
I'd be cool with that.
Right? Alex, think about it. Banks, you run 50 defensive snaps. I'd like to see him being in there for 35 of the 50 snaps. I want to I want to literally see like what the hubbub is. Is game going to translate over to the pros?
I mean, this is his first NFL look. Yeah, like leave him in there a little bit, and like if you get beat a couple times, that's fine. Just like let's see how he responds to that. And like sometimes you just need to get your ass whipped a little bit at the beginning, and then okay, let me go back out there again, make a play on the ball, not let it affect me, because sometimes it is just can you come back from that?
Jay says, am I going to drive all the way out there to pay to see one drive? Well, I would fly because I've done that drive way too many times already. It's a long ass drive. And it's not even Ohio and it's not Michigan. It's the damn state of Pennsylvania. It is so dang big. And it's almost like a cruel joke, Jay, because on the west side of PA, when you get right before you get into Ohio, or depending on which way you're going, the first hour is like this. Okay, back and forth like on a snake, and the road's like this wide, right? Then they think, okay, that was fun. Let's do this. Then they get into the mountain part where like kind of like you're going into like Shippensburg area. Still one little skinny lane, but now it goes for freaking 2 hours of it. Like you're just waiting for one straight shot, and it's like, no. And the minute you think it's gonna go straight, I hate it. So I'm not driving. If I go, I'm gonna find some cheap flight. Maybe I might have to parachute out, but I'm gonna find
hot air balloon. Just make sure it's downwind.
Exactly. So all that's in the cards for one series. Yeah, it's mostly to go see my daughter because I can maybe she would come out and watch the game with me. So anyway, Chris, talk to me about the like anything you need to see on the defense. I'm going with Banks. I only want to see Banks play. The rest of and a little bit of Kayvon, like right. I'm going to see a little Kayvon be like this. I could do it if I wanted to.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm Kayvon Thibodeau, and I can do it if I wanted to. That's it. I just want 5 to be like this. I could if I wanted to. But Banks, I want to see him. But is there anyone else on the defense you need to see something from?
I tell you, I want to see the combination of, we know what Adoree is, so he'll play limited. But I'd like to see the combination, like we spoke about before, with Hawkins, Banks, and Flott in the slot. So I think that's going to be interesting. And then we might see Flott on the outside too, because he does that, and then Darnay at the slot. But I want to see different combinations with Adoree out of the game, similar when he got injured last year. Like, what would be that combination if we're missing that guy on the outside like Adoree? I want to see the combinations of Hawkins and Banks. And also, we saw Pinnock last year. Okereke, don't want him too much. I can't wait to see him in the regular season. But
no.
Yeah, we know what he is.
Okereke
bubble wrap him and just
I know.
Yeah. Okereke is officially bubble wrapped until
and share some of that bubble wrap for Aziz too. Don't we put him in bubble wrap too for the season.
Oh Jesus.
So okay. I wasn't gonna so that's the subject. Let's talk about though. The guy's, when he plays, he's dominant, right? Rookie sack record for the Giants 2 years ago. Last year he's got like 7 sacks in like 5 games. The question is like, can you afford to bubble wrap him? Because like a guy like him needs reps, no? I don't know. Tell me, Chris, what do you think? No reps?
I think he needs reps, and he's been getting reps in practice. And I think with the scrimmage, the next couple of days, he'll be on a pitch count, I would assume. And I think come the preseason game, they're not going to overdo it with him, So I think that, I'm interested now. You just, put that in my head. I want to see how much work he gets done next 2 days, Tuesday and Wednesday.
Yeah.
Hopefully he comes out, okay. But I want to see how much work he gets the next 2 days.
Jay's got a great question. Jay, I'm going to get to that in a second because that's a great debate. Alex, there are 2 linebackers on this team that I'm curious about. One of them we've become friendly with because we interviewed, and one that I've been trying to get an interview with for a year but haven't had any luck. Hint, if anybody knows Beavers. Any thought on they're totally 2 different type of linebackers, right? Any thought on hey, this is McFadden's job to lose? Are him and Beavers neck and are they just it's either one of these guys' jobs? What's your thought on the middle next to bubble wrap Okereke?
I mean, I haven't seen too much from either of these guys. It's been mostly the main skill position guys. So I haven't seen a ton from the linebackers from camp. But I would imagine going into this would be McFadden's job over Beavers as of right now. But I do want to see them a bunch. I'm really going to be looking forward to watching them now too. That's going to be I'm going to add that to this weekend as well on Friday.
Yeah,
I want to watch. I want to watch the linebacker battle. I think it's McFadden's job to lose right now. But I mean, I could also see Beavers going out there and just dominating if he does, and then that's his. Whoever has the best showing in this is it's pretty much as up for grabs as it could be.
And Beavers was a huge surprise last year, right? Like we had no idea. We were like, what? So I think Beavers actually. He could probably play some outside too. I think he could be more. Yeah. He could be in because of his style of play. I think he could be an off-ball linebacker. I think he could play some outside. Where McFadden is downhill, and he even said it himself. Like in college, he just basically was blitzing through the A gap and blowing stuff up and tackles for loss. And he said he's working really hard on getting into coverage because that's not been his forte. Where I think Beavers is good in coverage and he's good in open space. So it should be interesting between those 2 guys. If you see something, text me because I'm really curious on who wins that job. It might be McFadden's job to lose, but I got a feeling that they're probably just going into camp dead even. Just the experience is on McFadden's side,
And that was really my lean towards McFadden. Just
exactly. All right, so Jay's got 90 things in here. He's like, I can't keep up with the craziness of his manic self. One gentleman is Darius. Love that you're always here. We interviewed Jake Ballard probably 2 years ago. Awesome interview. I could probably get him back on because him and I go Big Ten all the time. I talk shit and then he laughs because Ohio State beats Michigan State every single year. In fact, they've only lost 4 times in the last 10 years. So I could probably get Jake back on. He's a good dude. when we sponsored the Chase Blackburn golf outing. Jake was there and took some photos with our logo and stuff. So Jake's a good dude. Bear Pascal. Yeah, I'm working on that. He wants me, Jay. I'm going to pop this up on here. So, yes, I've got Bear Pascal ready to go. The issue with Bear is he wants me to record the show on Monday night at 9 o'clock. And no offense, like, I don't want to do the show at 9 o'clock. You know what I mean? And I don't want to do it. I don't want to record it. You know what I mean? Because we do a live show here, and that's what makes it fun, hanging out with you guys, right? So I'm still working on Bear. I will have him, definitely, working on that. Kevin Boss, also interviewed Kevin Boss early last year. It was probably in the summertime, around this time, or camp. Boss, if you get a chance and you go to the YouTube channel and you look up the Kevin Boss interview, the Kevin Boss interview is worth its weight in gold because when he played, there was a game show, on MTV that he loved. I'm drawing a blank what it's called right now. It was called Silent Something. And he's on the show with like Deal, O'Hara, Tollefson, Boss, and Soybert are on this show. And they are doing the most like crude, wacky stuff that I'm just do yourself a favor. If you want a good laugh, watch the Kevin Boss interview and let him tell you. He tells the story about this game show. God, it was Silent Something, and like it's worth a listen if you get a chance. So no Darius, no Larry Donnell, the flying land on my head tight end. No, he is definitely not one that we've interviewed, and he's really not. Thank you. The Kiwanuka interview was amazing, Darius. He was awesome too. So we're working on more interviews. Again, I appreciate these guys are not easy to get. Make sure housekeeping wise, again, subscribe, tell your neighbors, upload it, download, tell these folks, that we're here every single Monday, cranking it out at 8 o'clock, live with you folks. Instagram is NYGiants_rush. I need to get some more stuff up there for you folks. Team Store, brand new, all new gear. Check that out. Got some cool stuff on there. And the fantasy football, which it was supposed to be the other way around. Fantasy football launched first and then the store, and I did it the other way around. So fantasy football is going to be launched this week with the Ballers League and the Queens of Rush League. Nikki will be running that. Spartan Mike will be running the Ballers League. A couple of you guys asked where she is. She's been overseeing the coverage for JSN, so she does camp with those guys. And so she'll be on, she'll be back next week. Jack Anderson was definitely a guy. Chris, we interviewed Jack. We got to meet Jack at the Nick Gates camp. Yeah. No one's talking about Jack at all. I think he's flying below the radar too to basically back up. I think Lemieux's going to get cut. And Jack Anderson's going to be the guy. Any thoughts?
Yeah, and especially he can work center. And now we saw J.C. Hausenauer be on injured reserve. So I think he moves up a little bit now at that center position to get more work, hopefully.
Yeah, because I can literally see him backing up Azudu, backing up Bredesen, so he's flying below the radar, which is a good thing, right? Because he's working hard. We met him. We interviewed him like probably, I don't know, a month ago, 6 weeks ago. Good cat. All right, Alex, anything that we should be like paying attention to that you're up to? What's going on there in Texas? Anything you got your podcast, which you could tell them about because it has nothing to do with gravy, and gravy's always good.
Gravy is pretty good. Past the Gravy, I do episodes every Wednesday. You can check them out on YouTube, wherever else you listen to podcasts. And then if you watch the TV show Big Brother, I also do a Big Brother recap podcast called Past the Gravy Bro, and we go live after each episode on episode nights. So Sundays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays.
Totally insane, by the way. Not like just like I don't get it, but it's cool. I'm like
funny. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like
off the wall, Alex. Yeah.
Appreciate it, man.
Well, let's podcast a big brother. And that show's been on forever, right?
Yeah. My wife, when I moved in with my wife, like she and her family always watched it. And I was like, this is going to be stupid. I'm not going to watch this. And then I got obsessed with it and then just turned a guilty pleasure into a podcast so I could talk about it with other people that were weirdly into it like me. And now it's been going on for, I think, 5 years now.
Love it. Very cool. So you got fantasy coming up, new store. download the Chuck app. I don't know what you people are waiting for. Just download the Chuck app so you can play the Chuckle Sports Trivia with us. We're hoping that Astro Flavor will be back, so we'll be giving some of that away like we do most of the time. And I had one other thing I was going to tell you guys, and now I'm drawing a blank. That's it. We're working on what do we do. You guys can throw it in the comments, or you guys can, DM me. FanFest has been something that we've done the last, 3 years. And like some people like it, some people don't. Should we do it? Because this year, what I'm thinking is instead of setting up and streaming live, last year we gave Chris, how many beer pong tables did we give away?
Oh, at least 10 or 12. Yeah.
Oh, we were just handing beer pong
yeah.
tables out to strangers. Yeah. So I'm thinking this year, if Chris and I go, is no stream. I'm just going to walk through the parking lot with a backpack on, and I'm just going to take selfies and video of all the people I meet at FanFest and just give gear out. Just be handing stuff out like this. Boom. No stream. It'll just be me and Chris. Maybe we'll do we'll just do selfies with a bunch of people and just walk through everybody's tailgate. I'm thinking, Chris, that might be our move this year.
Yeah, maybe, especially with, no game, but yeah, we could do that. That sounds good.
So we'll just hop party to party, take a bunch of photos. So we might be doing that. What's up, Tommy G? Good to see you in the room. So that's kind of like cleaning it up. If you guys want to talk about FanFest, you can DM me, tweet me, whatever you want to do. Tell me what you guys are going to do. Yeah. And again, if I don't, I'm leaning on not streaming from the parking lot because there's no game, right? So I'm thinking about if there's this big party, maybe me and Chris just crash everybody's party. I sent a videographer to camp last week, so I've got some really good videos coming from camp and a special tribute to Giants Rust from Nacho, by the way, which was done. So we've got some good things coming away. Look, Alex's eyes got big. He's like,
that's cool.
Oh, that is cool.
Check that out.
Yeah, so we're doing some good stuff. And we'll be back here on Monday, as we always are. So, boom, favorite, upload it, download it, share it, tell your friends, and then like it, subscribe. And for all you people out there, like my dad, who I turned on to YouTube just last night, so he's trying to figure out how to subscribe. Yeah, hit the subscribe button. It's just a little red button there. You just you hit it, and it lets you know when we upload new stuff. That's it. We're not going to ask you for money and then, have you renew a subscription or something like that. No, just subscribe so you know what we're doing. It's 9:03. We're done. We're out. We love you people. We'll see you next week. Peace out. Giants.